This is the first time that I'm speaking about it. Something that I'll never forget.
A former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs speaking out in the new interview with new allegations about wild parties and...
Let's dive into one of the most explosive twists in the recent legal storm. Kristina Khorram, once known as Shah Diddy Combs' right hand, now entangled in a web of accusations, rumors, and shocking allegations. But here's the real shocker. Has she been secretly playing both sides? Betrayal, heartbreak, and jaw-dropping claims about what really happened. It's all unfolding now, so buckle up for the ride.
Statement. I don't see this statement hurting or helping her. You know, it's one of those innocuous statements that's essentially like, let's wait and see how things turn out. I'm going to be vindicated. You know, that's kind of the standard when it comes to these statements that are made and the individual that are stating it. It's just, like I said, I think the heat is starting to be turned up on a lot of these different cases, criminal and civil.
Kristina KK Khorram wasn't just another employee. She was the force running the show behind the scenes, the ultimate gatekeeper to Diddy's empire. Diddy himself once praised her publicly, calling her his right-hand woman and crediting her for managing every aspect of his life. She's been my right hand for the last 8 years and has consistently proven to execute and get things done, he wrote in a 2021 Facebook post. Think about that. The man who built Bad Boy Records, launched global brands, and dominated multiple industries admitted he didn't know how he'd function without her. That's the level of power and trust she held. But with great power comes great responsibility, and, apparently, a closet full of skeletons.
Do you believe a statement like this, and given the allegations against her, does this give you a clue about her potential role in this criminal case? In other words, do you think she could be called as a witness by either the prosecution or the defense?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine any universe where she's not called as a witness by either the defense or the prosecution.
For over a decade, Kristina Khorram stood by Diddy's side, rising from a senior executive in 2013 to his chief of staff by 2020. She managed his businesses, coordinated his personal life, and made things happen. But now, her name is tied to something far more sinister. Khorram has been named in multiple lawsuits, accused of enabling the very behavior that has thrown Diddy into a legal firestorm. While she vehemently denies any wrongdoing, the sheer number of allegations raises eyebrows and serious questions about her true role behind the scenes.
Knows kind of his day-to-day schedule and how he operates, the individuals that he knows, the individuals that came to see him at his office or his home, and she was there during that time period. I believe that she would either be useful for the defense or useful for the prosecution.
Earlier this year, Kristina Khorram finally broke her silence, issuing a statement to address what she called the horrific accusations against her. "I have never condoned or aided and abetted the harm of anyone," she stated, "nor have I ever slipped anything to anyone." She dismissed the allegations as false, claiming they had caused irreparable and incalculable damage to her reputation and her family's well-being. Her words were carefully chosen, her tone emotional, but was it genuine or a calculated defense? With stakes this high, every word matters.
And I know you said he explained all of the items that were involved in these Wild King nights. Did he mention who would participate as well?
A lot of them were unknown to him. He did mention that a lot of the women were very, very young as 20, not underage, but certainly.
Rumors are swirling that Kristina Khorram may have flipped on Diddy, providing key information to federal authorities in exchange for leniency. Could she be the one fueling the fire now consuming her former boss? According to insiders, Khorram's deep proximity to Diddy meant she had access to everything, his plans, operations, and secrets. If anyone could spill the tea on what really went down, it's her. And here's where things get murky. Some sources claim Khorram has been cooperating with investigators for months, long before the lawsuits against her surfaced. If that's true, it could explain why Diddy's legal team has gone on the offensive, dismissing some of the allegations against him as fictional and part of a coordinated attack.
Well, at this point, we've all probably heard about these infamous parties. Diddy's assistant now giving us details about what he says were called Wild King Night.
Let's not overlook the sheer scope of Kristina Khorram's role as Diddy's chief of staff. She wasn't just managing schedules and booking flights. She was allegedly overseeing every aspect of his personal life, including some deeply troubling activities, according to multiple lawsuits. One former employee, Rodney Lil Rod Jones Jr., even likened Khorram to Ghislaine Maxwell in relation to Diddy's alleged misdeeds, a comparison that sent shockwaves through the media. Jones accused Khorram of brushing off concerns about her boss's behavior with dismissive remarks like, "You know, Sean will be Sean." Even more disturbing, she allegedly downplayed physical encounters as harmless, telling employees it was just Diddy's way of showing he likes you. If these accusations are true, they paint a picture of someone who wasn't just a bystander, but an active enabler in the chaos surrounding Diddy.
At times you would have him with a younger female. There's a power dynamic there. A more impressionable girl is easier to reel in. Consent is between the people that are engaging, and I wasn't there in these situations to understand the consent.
But Khorram's alleged role didn't stop there. According to multiple lawsuits, she played a key part in organizing Diddy's infamous parties, now central to the allegations against him. These weren't just your average celebrity gatherings. They were elaborate, multi-day affairs, shrouded in secrecy and filled with high-profile guests. And according to some claims, Khorram was the one making it all happen. From coordinating logistics to ensuring that certain, let's say, special requests were met, she allegedly handled every detail. One former assistant even claimed that Khorram would notify him whenever Diddy planned to host one of these events, sending him on frantic errands to stock up on supplies and prepare the venue. Afterward, that same assistant said he was tasked with cleaning up the aftermath, something he described as pure wreckage.
It just felt like, what? Like, is this fun for him? Is this like a test?
And it doesn't stop there. Another former employee, Phil Pines, alleged in a lawsuit that he once witnessed Diddy kicking a woman outside his Miami home during one of these infamous gatherings. When he reported the incident to Khorram, he claimed she shut him down immediately, warning him to never speak of it again, implying there would be consequences if he did. This raises a chilling question. How much did Khorram know, and how far was she willing to go to keep things under wraps? The lawsuits don't just paint Khorram as an enabler. They suggest she was a key player in something far bigger. Some allegations claim she was responsible for hiring and paying individuals to attend these parties, even arranging special guests for Diddy's private gatherings. And then there's the most shocking claim. She allegedly instructed employees to always carry certain items, hinting at a level of preparation and organization far beyond that of a typical chief of staff. If these allegations are true, it's no wonder people are questioning her motives and her loyalties.
Description, because there was a whole section of that complaint dedicated to Kristina Khorram, where Rodney Jones basically makes the allegation that Kristina Khorram is the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein. That's what it says. And of course, we know that she has been the associate of deceased financier Jeffrey Epstein, who ended up getting convicted of trafficking charges, sentenced to 20 years.
Why would someone like Khorram, with everything to lose, allegedly go along with these activities? Some believe it was about self-preservation. When you're that close to someone as powerful as Diddy, it's easy to get swept up in their orbit. But others think there's more to the story. Was it ambition? Loyalty? Fear? Whatever the reason, the spotlight is now firmly on her. And those same forces that once kept her silent could now be pushing her to cooperate with authorities, perhaps as a last attempt to save herself.
It's heating up, and I think she has to make that statement at this point because a lot of people are making accusations. I'm sure there's an issue in terms of the federal investigation and what's going on with the federal investigation and if they're going to be interviewing her or using her as a witness. So my belief is all those things are coming to a head.
Of course, Khorram denies all of this. She insists she's innocent, claiming she's being unfairly targeted simply because of her association with Diddy. And maybe she's right. When a scandal of this magnitude erupts, it's easy to point fingers. But the timing of her public statements, combined with growing rumors of her cooperation with investigators, has left many wondering if there's more to the story than she's letting on. As lawsuits continue to pile up and the allegations against Diddy grow more damning, Khorram's role in this unfolding saga becomes increasingly pivotal. Is she a scapegoat, a victim of circumstance being dragged down by her former boss's alleged misdeeds? Or is she a key player now trying to rewrite her narrative by cooperating with the very people investigating him? One thing is certain: the truth, whatever it may be, has the potential to upend not just her life, but the lives of everyone involved.
In normal trafficking cases, you think of something a lot different than those accusations. And I do believe that she didn't know the details of everything that was going on. I don't really find it plausible to believe that she didn't know anything was going on.
And here's where things get even more complicated. As Diddy's legal troubles escalate, his inner circle is crumbling. Khorram isn't the only former associate to break ranks. One betrayal after another keeps surfacing. It's a scenario eerily reminiscent of another infamous figure whose closest allies ultimately led to his downfall. Could Diddy be facing the same fate? And if so, what role will Khorram play in his unraveling? The stakes have never been higher.
Employed someplace else. I'm sure she has some other business that's going on. And my belief is it's probably hurting those relationships she has being associated with Sean Combs.
Let's pick up where we left off because the story just keeps getting wilder. With Kristina Khorram's name dominating headlines and her alleged involvement sparking intense debate, you'd think Diddy Combs would be focused solely on that fallout. But the drama doesn't stop there. The walls are closing in on him from every direction, and the betrayals? They're stacking up faster than anyone could have imagined. At this point, it seems like Diddy's world is collapsing under the weight of secrets, accusations, and his own inner circle turning against him. So, how did one of the most powerful figures in entertainment find himself so completely isolated? The answer may be more shocking than we think.
Did he? Or didn't he? Well, if he didn't, he's got a lot to explain. Well, apparently what Diddy's done now, which is a very interesting thing, is he's on the offensive of sorts. That's right, Sean Diddy Combs has initiated a $100 million defamation lawsuit.
Diddy, the mogul who built an empire spanning music, fashion, and television, has always been known for his larger-than-life persona. But now, as he faces federal charges and a wave of lawsuits, it seems like every ally he once had is vanishing into thin air. Kristina Khorram's alleged betrayal may have been the first domino to fall, but she's far from the only one to distance herself from him. His empire, once fortified by loyalty and discretion, is now riddled with cracks that are quickly widening into gaping holes. Let's not forget, Diddy didn't rise to the top on talent alone. He thrived on connections, big deals, and a carefully curated circle of trusted confidants. But what happens when that trust is shattered? Over the past year, whispers have turned into full-blown accusations, and the people closest to him, the ones who knew the most, have started speaking out. And here's where things get really interesting. While Diddy's team continues to deny all allegations, dismissing them as opportunistic fabrications, the consistency of these claims and the sheer number of voices coming forward are becoming impossible to ignore.
I believe that it opens yourself up to some negligence claims. Again, I don't know if Jay-Z is going to go that far, but certainly I think it does open himself up to some negligence claims. Maybe that was part of the reason why he dismissed with prejudice. I don't know.
And then there's the situation with Jay-Z, where things really take a turn. Another titan of the music industry, Jay-Z has now been pulled into the chaos surrounding Diddy. Allegations have surfaced linking him to some of the same events under scrutiny, and while he has vehemently denied any involvement, the rumors alone have been enough to make headlines. Speculation is running wild. Did Jay-Z know what was happening? Was he involved? Or is he simply collateral damage in Diddy's spiraling downfall? Either way, the association is a PR nightmare. One thing is clear, this scandal's ripple effects are reaching even the most powerful figures in the industry, proving that no one is truly untouchable.
Rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both.
Let's zoom out for a moment. Diddy's current predicament is starting to feel eerily familiar, isn't it? The parallels to another infamous case, one involving a certain financier whose name became synonymous with scandal, are impossible to ignore. Like Jeffrey Epstein, Diddy is accused of using his wealth and influence to create an environment where boundaries weren't just blurred, they were completely disregarded. And just like Epstein, his alleged actions were reportedly facilitated by a network of enablers, each playing a role in keeping the machine running smoothly. The key difference? This is unfolding as much in the court of public opinion as it is in the actual courts, with the media frenzy amplifying every twist and turn. But here's where things get even more intriguing. While Epstein's downfall was largely driven by investigative journalism and whistleblowers, Diddy's situation seems to be unraveling from within. The very people who once protected him are now turning their backs, whether out of self-preservation or a long overdue sense of guilt. Khorram, Pines, Jones, they're just the beginning. As more voices come forward, the real question isn't if, but when the full extent of Diddy's alleged actions will come to light.
He, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down.
What's particularly striking is how isolated Diddy has become. Once seemingly untouchable, his current reality is a stark contrast. He's not only facing legal battles, but also the collapse of his once loyal support network. While his legal team insists the allegations are baseless, the optics tell a different story. With every new lawsuit and accusation, the carefully crafted image he spent decades building continues to crumble, piece by piece.
To the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right? In addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right? That she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who...
So, what does this mean for Diddy's legacy? Can someone once considered a pioneer in the entertainment industry ever bounce back from this? Or is he destined to become another cautionary tale, a stark reminder of what happens when power goes unchecked? The comparisons to Epstein suggest the latter, but Diddy's story is far from over. With his trial date looming and the media spotlight only growing brighter, the next few months could determine the rest of his life. And what about those who've distanced themselves from him? Are they truly innocent, or simply trying to save face now that the truth is starting to emerge? Kristina Khorram, for one, has positioned herself as a victim of circumstance, insisting she's been unfairly dragged into the chaos. But despite her passionate denials, rumors persist about her potential cooperation with investigators. If she is, in fact, working with authorities, it could spell disaster for Diddy. Yet, it also raises a critical question. How much did Khorram really know? And if she played a role in facilitating any wrongdoing, is she truly a whistleblower or just another key player trying to rewrite her own story before it's too late?
Jay-Z is speaking out this morning after the civil suit accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of was dropped. NBC's Chloe Malas is here.
As for Jay-Z, his involvement, or lack thereof, remains a hot topic. While he has publicly condemned the allegations against him, the mere association has been enough to put a dent in his otherwise pristine reputation. But the implications go beyond just him. If Diddy's empire can collapse this quickly, who's to say others won't follow? The ripple effects could be massive, potentially exposing deep-seated issues within the music industry that have been ignored for far too long.
The suit was withdrawn by the accuser's attorney Tony Busby on Friday with prejudice, meaning it cannot be refiled. Now, this lawsuit had originally been filed in December on behalf of a woman only known as Jane Doe, who claimed that Jay-Z and Combs raped her when she was just 13 years old at a house party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Award.
In many ways, Diddy's story is a microcosm of a larger reckoning. This isn't just about one man's alleged actions. It's about the culture of silence and complicity that allowed those actions to go unchecked. And while the comparisons to Epstein might seem sensational, they aren't entirely unwarranted. Both cases involve powerful men accused of using their influence to exploit others, leaving behind a trail of victims and enablers. But here's the difference. Diddy's story is still unfolding, and countless questions remain unanswered. Will he fight the charges and attempt to clear his name? Or will the weight of the allegations prove too much to bear? And what about those who've turned against him? Are they heroes for speaking out, or opportunists trying to save themselves? One thing is certain. Whatever the truth is, its consequences will be far-reaching. This isn't just about Diddy. It's about an industry, a culture, and a system that may finally be forced to face the truth.
It could be a disagreement regarding defense strategy. It could be a conflict. It could be a health issue. It really could be anything. And the paperwork doesn't identify it, nor should it. And the fact that Mark Agnifilo is still on the case and the other counsel of record leads me to believe that the judge is going to rubber stamp this motion and grant it.
As the dust continues to settle, or perhaps stir even further, it's clear that this is more than just another celebrity scandal. It's a moment of reckoning, a chance to examine the systems that allowed someone like Diddy to rise to power and potentially abuse it. Whether he's guilty or not, the sheer number of people coming forward suggests that there's more to this story than meets the eye. For those of us watching from the sidelines, it's a stark reminder that even the most carefully constructed empires can crumble in an instant. The ongoing drama surrounding Diddy and Kristina Khorram leaves us with more questions than answers. Was Khorram truly playing both sides? And if so, what does that mean for Diddy's future? More importantly, what are the broader implications for the music industry as a whole? Are we witnessing a true moment of reckoning, or just another high-profile scandal destined to fade away? One thing is certain, this story is far from over. As more details emerge, the consequences could ripple far beyond Diddy, reshaping an entire industry that has long operated in the shadows. Stay tuned. Things are only getting started.